Hi guys, we are going to be working on our loom today. And so we have our completed glazed loom here. I'm going to flip this over. On the back, I have numbered these openings starting with 1, and I ended up with 11 because that's just the number I went with. But you want to have an odd number. If you have an even number, you're going to just not use one of the openings, or if you had an odd number but you didn't create the openings wide enough for yarn to pass through, you might have to just use whatever ones work for that. Okay, so if you have a few that were like too small, then you'll figure out like, okay, I won't use this one, and you might have to take another one off to make it into an odd number again. Okay, so we're going to be starting off with creating our warp, which is the string in a weaving that does not move. Okay, so I've already added a little bit of tape on the edge of my my yarn here, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the first opening. So I'm going to push this through, and this is going from the back towards the front, and I'm going to pull this through all the way here like this. And I am leaving a little tail here because I'm going to tape it down. Okay, so I'm just going to use a small little piece of tape to hold it in place. Like this. There we go. Now, as we're weaving this, we are going to be doing 2 directions. So we're going to be going across the street and next door to our neighbor. Okay, it's like across the street, next door. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 here. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. 4 here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to I think I'm going to go with the number 6 opening because that's about halfway. So between 1 and 11, that's between 5 and 6, right? It's 5.5. So I'm going to go with 6. And so from the front, I'm taking my yarn. I'm going to find the number 6 opening, and I am just weaving this through here like this. Okay, so having these numbered really helps. Now, I went across the street. I'm not going to go across the street again because my yarn is on the back. I'm just going to go next door. Okay, so I can go ahead and go over to 7. Oops. Like this. Oh my gosh, hold on, I'm having a moment. We'll try that again. Okay, so we're going next door to 7. There we go. So whenever you go next door, this is what it looks like. Okay, so across the street is on the front, next door is on the underside here. Okay, since I'm on the front again, I'm going to go across the street over to 2. Okay, so across the street to 2. And then I'm going to go next door to 3. Okay, now I'm going over here. I'm going across the street over here, which for me is number 8. Your number might be a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to go next door again since my yarn is on the back part of my loom. Okay, then I go across the street to 4. Oops. I'm going to go next door to 5. Sorry about that. So I'm going next door to 5. I'm going to go across the street to this 10 over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go next door to 11. Okay, now notice I don't have any more openings to go across the street to. So this is what it looks like on the back. On the front, it looks like this. Okay, what I'm going to do you see how this area here that's supposed to be the center isn't actually in the middle? I'm going to take my yarn here and I'm going to kind of try to wiggle it through this opening here. Maybe, there we go. Okay, and then whenever I pull this back towards the side that I came from, it puts it more in the middle, and that's what I want to go for. Okay, so I've got this here. I'm going to flip this over on the back. I'm going to hold this in place. Let's see. I think I'm going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to hold this in place. Actually, maybe I do want to go here. Now we're good. Okay, so I'm going to hold this in place with one finger. The other hand is going to come over here, and I'm basically going just inside right here, like this, and I'm basically going to create a knot. So I've got this big loop right here. My yarn just went underneath this stitch next to it. Okay. And then I think it's going to go up through here. So I'm just trying to create a knot as tight as I can because I want my weft to be on the tighter side there. Okay. So I've got that. And then let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add another knot. So again, I'm going underneath here, going through the loop, and I'm pulling this tight right on top of here. Okay, so on the front, I've got this nice little warp here. So remember, the lines that don't move in weaving are called your warp. Now I'm going to use the rest of this to start on my weaving. Okay, so I'm going to start towards the middle, and it doesn't really, you're going to start kind of close to where you're at, but I'm going to go, we'll start right here, and I'm bringing this towards the front. Okay, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going over and under around my middle section first. Okay, so I'm going to go over this one right here. Okay, so it goes over, and then this one's going to go under like that. This one's over, under, over, under. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it here. Okay, and then I'm going to keep working. So that was under, over, under, over, under. I'm going to pull it through. Okay, and we're working around in a circle. So it goes over, under, over. And that extra string here that was kind of tied in the middle, I'm just going to leave that as its own, as a separate, or as like one with the one that's next to it. Okay, and so you know that you're doing okay if your numbers are the right, or if you have a back and forth kind of checkerboard effect going. So actually, maybe I didn't go over that. That one's, so we'll go under here. Yep, there we go. Okay, so over, under, whoops. Okay, so you guys can kind of start to see I'm getting some shapes forming here. I'm going to pause this and I'm going to finish this color up and I'll come back in with another one to show you how to start that. Okay, so I have almost finished this here. I have a little bit left. What I'm going to do with my next piece of yarn is I'm going to tie these two together. Okay, and you're going to do this just like almost as if you were tying your shoes. I like to put two of them together like this and tie it like I'm tying the end of the balloon. Okay, so we're going to kind of go through, whoops. And you want to have a long enough tail that you can tie that knot on, or else it's going to be really tricky. Pull through. Okay, I'm going to trim a little bit of this off, but not too close to the edge because sometimes those knots like to come out a little bit. Okay, and I can take my new end of thread. and start working my way around through here. Okay, so I'm just doing a couple at a time, and then I'm pulling this through gently. Watch out for that knot, okay? And if you have, whenever you get to where the knot is woven in, you do want to try to tuck it into the back so it's not showing on the front side. Okay, and you can kind of start to see that I'm getting a nice woven look. So if you look up close here, you can see it has that nice checkered board look because I have an odd number, so I'm going over, under, and they're taking turns, right? Which one's over, which one's under. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do for your loom, and you'll continue on until you run out of space. Whenever you cut your yarn, you're not gonna take a huge amount to begin with, okay? You're going to take maybe like a foot or two, especially since these aren't giant looms. Okay, so we have our warp here. The part that we're weaving in, the one that we're moving a lot, is called the weft. Okay, so that's what you'll be working on.